So first question I have for you, you did a session on environmental monitoring with Arduino, and I was wondering how you got into that.
Well, my current profession is making water quality monitors. We make these $500,000 floating platforms with solar panels and batteries and a winch and a motor. And you can't make too many $500,000 platforms
Sure.
for, say, $1 million.
Right.
You can make two.
Right.
Right. But if your water quality sensor costs $100, an Arduino, maybe a small radio, a battery, and a few sensors, you could toss that in the water, and if you have to replace it every couple of years, not a big deal.
Sure.
And you can make an awful lot more of them
Right.
for $1 million if they're cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
So, assuming that happens more and more, what other types of monitoring do you think can be done with that type of hardware?
Well, there are various kinds of precipitation monitors. So, like especially companies that do hydropower, they are very interested in how much water is going to be hitting their dams. So if you can be measuring the amount of rainfall in various places in your watershed, you can take those numbers and you can plug them into the model, and they'll know how much water they've got. So if they know they've got water coming down, they can release some water and make some money. As it is now, they're kind of guessing.
Okay, I see. So it's sort of just one big guess after another, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So do you think that hardware hacking will have the same sort of resonance as software hacking?
Well, yeah, it already is. If you look at the Arduino community, it's just huge. And it's not just the typical, computer hackers.
Mm-hmm.
The Arduino is positioned not for us, it's positioned for essentially users. It's positioned for artists.
Right.
It's positioned for, say, biologists or physicists or chemists, people who want to do things with computers but don't care to hack.
Right.
They have a problem, they want to solve it. They can go grab an Arduino and hack away
Right.
to their heart's content.
And what about 3D modeling and that type of stuff, the 3D printers, that kind of thing?
Well, I've made myself a MakerBot, not a MakerBot. I've made myself a RepRap.
Yeah.
And it's the original design, the Darwin, which is kind of high friction, so I got to disassemble it and put it back together again a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're on to a next generation, which is the Mendel.
Yeah.
And there's also a commercial kit that you can buy called a MakerBot,
Mm-hmm.
which is hugely cool. It's a kit of parts, you put it together, and you can print 3D objects.
Right.
I saw the talk that was before mine. They were showing off this little piece of plastic, which was a logic diagram. If you try to show a blind person
Sure.
what a linked list looks like, they got a problem. If you can make a 3D model of a linked list, and they do this by taking the picture and they render it in different heights and different surfaces. They just take the picture, print it up on a MakerBot, and hand it out to the blind student.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right. So last question for you. I know you've done a lot of work with sort of experimental keyboards and different types of keyboards.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel that the traditional keyboard can be improved? Because clearly it can be improved.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of amazing that we've been using, you look at the hand, right? The tips of the hands are curves, the surface of the hand is curved like this, and laptops were still typing on flat keyboards.
Right.
So, and we're even getting away from the traditional desktop type of computing and going to mobile computing. Like today I only brought my smartphone. I left my laptop home. So how do you do touch typing? I mean, if you wanted to write down a paragraph of text, it's tough going thumbity.
Yeah.
Thumbity thumb.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you really like a one-handed keyboard.
Sure.
There you can touch type with the one-handed keyboard, a cording keyboard, and have that show up on your smartphone.
Yeah.
Bluetooth,
Right.
chords, multiple combinations of presses to form keystrokes.
Well, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it in terms of chords. It's cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Great. Thanks.